AITA for not allowing my sister to use my farm as her wedding venue? My late grandpa started his farm while he was in his early 20s. There were financial problems along the way, but it became successful, and he became rich. My late grandma, who died last year, grew up in an average working-class home. My parents come from rich families and went to private schools and Ivy League colleges. My mother and father always wanted 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. I'm the youngest out of 3 girls, and my parents were desperately hoping their last child would be a boy, but since I was a girl, they were resentful toward me, and they didn't show any love to me, and I was pretty much treated like Cinderella. Because my parents showed resentment towards me, my sisters did too, and I was bullied by them, and they got away with it. We were treated differently as they both went to private schools, private colleges. They were also allowed to do whatever they wanted and eat whenever they wanted. I went to a public school, public college, and I was only allowed to eat 3 meals a day. I don't mind going to a public school, but I'm just trying to show how I was treated differently. At the weekends, I was shipped off to my grandmother's so they could have family time. At age 12, I asked my grandmother if I could live with her, and she agreed. As soon as she asked my parents, they immediately said yes and started packing my bags. While going to my grandmother's at the weekend, she made me work on the farm. Even while living with her permanently, she continued to make me work on the farm at weekends. I hated that I had to work on the farms, and looking back now, I realized why she made me do it. She made me work on the farm as a source of therapy, as I was constantly arguing, and her animals were my therapy. I remember spending most of my days sitting with the horses and feeding the chickens. I also spent a lot of time running across her fields. My grandmother sadly passed away last year, and she left the whole estate to me, which my family wasn't pleased about. I decided to leave my job as a lawyer and work full-time on the farm, and I'm so much happier. When my grandmother was alive, she also used part of her fields for wedding venues and events. She also allowed charities to have events on her farm free of charge. 2 months ago, my sister got in contact with me after 4 years of no contact and said she's engaged and asked me if she could use Grandma's field as a wedding venue, as she would like to get married. The thing is, I can't let go of the past, and I have started therapy, but I told her I need some time to think about it. My first thought was to charge my sister a price for the venue and make it a price she couldn't afford, but it didn't feel right, so I simply said no. Now she's passed my number on to my parents and my other sister, and they're all saying this is my grandmother's farm, and she should be allowed to get married on the farm, and I should even do it for free. My emotions are pretty high right now, and I need to know if AITA